This is sorry, my bad. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. So my bad. So, folks, welcome to New Church Live. This is Pastor Chuck Blair. We're doing a little bit here on looking at storms and the idea of storms that both fled from below and fled from on top. And we're looking here at storms in our lives because we all do face storms in our lives. It's the metaphor of Noah and the ark. And it's really a story that gives us a beautiful poetic image of how to travel through these storms. And there's part we're going to look at today that, in all frankness, I did not know until starting to look at it. And it's a fascinating line. Didn't know this, hadn't picked up on this. And it's talking about where the floodwaters are coming from. And in the Bible, where it says the floodwaters are coming from, says the springs of the abyss burst and heaven's floodgates opened. So I love that idea of it coming from both underneath and from on top, that the flood is happening in both directions. What is that all about? Well, just imagine a flood in your life, time where you really felt it, where you really felt totally overwhelmed. And isn't it interesting how so much of that time we can really feel like we're hit from all sides? We're from above, we're hit from below, we're hit from the sides. That all those things are very true. And there's a dynamic there that we're invited to picture of maybe how hell works, how hell can get in our heads and really get us to see the world in ways that aren't necessarily true. And what is that all about? Well, this might be an idea for you to think about. So imagine this, folks, with hell, that we get these hellish messages that come from the outside, and these hellish messages that come from the inside, water that is flooding from in, water that's flooding from out. And hell really deals with both of those things. So the idea, folks, is that's not us. That's not us. That's the way hell works. So imagine, folks, where we can get totally mired in a feeling of guilt or remorse. Again, guilt is good to a point, but we don't want to live there. We don't want to become that. We don't want to just live totally mired in that, because then we'll never move forward to make amends. And you can see where a memory of something, as well as the guilt over that something, where they can meet, where it can feel like a flood from below and a flood from on top at the same time. I think that's very true of life. And you could pick all kinds of examples, folks, where we really feel like we're getting smacked around, coming and going. And a lot of that is just understanding that so much of that stuff is shadow. So much of that stuff is darkness. So much of that stuff are challenges that are way outside. And the example I use with folks all the time, pastoring, is when you go through a really, really negative emotion, like when you're really, really struggling, how much of the time does it really feel like you're choosing it? Probably not a whole lot. Some of the time we do, and we have to be careful about falling in love with our pain. But a lot of the time, it's just this overwhelming feeling that comes over us. It's like floodwaters coming within, floodwaters coming without. And of course, anything will find a level of agreement with each other, which is a serious problem. So that's the thought for today, friends. It's just be aware of where that dynamic might work, and be aware that there's a part of you that's outside of that. Go to that part of you that's outside of it, because once you're in that vice grip there's not much you're going to be able to do. But with prayer and a little kindness, a little tenderness, we can shift out of that dynamic into a much more peace-filled place, a place where God can be much more present in our lives. So that's my thought for today, friends. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ring our little prayer bell, and we'll have a little moment of meditation. I'll do a little scriptural piece here, and then we'll do the Our Father prayer and a little blessing. And I will not be taking comments today because I got a little appointment here at 8:40, but I'll be typing in comments later in the day. So wherever you're joining us from, wherever in the country or from overseas, please feel free to just leave a comment and we'll get right back to you. So with that, friends, let's all get a little breath. A little meditation. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that Be still and know. Be still and be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you, and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends. Again, please feel free to leave a comment, and I'll be leaving typed comments later on. And just wishing you just a blessed day, sort of separating ourselves from the vice grip where we feel like we're caught in betwixt and between. And when we're feeling like we're caught there, just a good reason to go somewhere else. So take care, friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.